So hi guys, in the last Vim video I showed you how to use the movement keys, how to move around in a file, how to quickly jump from a place to a place using these simple shortcuts. And now we'll use them in combination with action commands, action keys. And this is where the true power of Vim lies. So I have this little file here, it's HTML file, and I will open it in Vim using Vim and the name of the file, which is links.html. This is just a random HTML file with some other text. And at the bottom I have a little tip here, like a hint for myself, with all the commands we're going to go through. And we'll just combine everything we learned yesterday or in the previous video with the action that's going to use it. So again, HAKL for navigating, like the arrow keys over the file, W to the beginning of the next word, E to the end of the word, and B to the back of to the beginning of the previous word, and 0 to get to the first character of a line, $sign to get to the last character of a line, and that's about it. Just a very basic hint of what we talked about yesterday, the last video. So the first command we'll use is D. D stands for delete. Now delete is an action that waits for user's input, and the input is the movement or motion. So it's a combination of action and motion. Motion being the movements we talked about last night, and action being the delete command here. So if I'm on this word environment, if I press D, it's still here in a buffer, waiting for my motion key. So if I would now type E, it would perform DE, which would stand for delete to the end of the word of the cursor. Okay, if I undo the change again, I would move to a different character of the word. I would do DE. It would delete everything to the point or till the point of the movement key. Same for the B, deleting everything until the B, which stands for beginning of the word. Now you can also use it with like D0 stands for the beginning, so you would delete till the beginning, and D $sign, which deletes till the end. So this was deleting with everything we talked about last night. Now there are other stuff that I didn't tell you about, which just makes sense in this example. If I go here to the main class introduction, let's say I want to edit the HTML and I just want to change the class here. What I can do is, and if I want to delete it first and then change it later, what I can do is to say using B, go to the beginning of the word, using D for delete, and E for deleting to the end of the word. Now I just use 3 keys. It's not that much. It's okay, and if that makes sense to you, it's just alright to use it. Now Vim is a great editor in a sense of everyone can do what feels natural to him. There are so many different ways to do stuff in Vim. Some people use the fastest possible way to get there, using as few commands as possible. Some people use the visual mode for them because it works better for them. So they just use visual mode and highlight stuff and then just delete the visual blocks and stuff. And some people just use, let's say, natural language. So instead of doing move to the beginning and delete to the end, you can also use delete, and now either letter I or A, depending on what you want, we'll use I, and that stands for delete inside, and inside is like a subset of the first action command. and it also waits for like an action or a movement, motion. So we can use double quotes. So D, I, double quotes. What we'll do is that it will delete inside or delete everything inside the double quotes like this. So I now just got rid of the content inside the quotes. Okay. And we can also use it with the combination of forward or find movement. So let's say I now use D. I can now also use like a subset similar to the inside. I can use F. So delete to F, which is forward, look forward for the character, and we will use, let's say, N, which is the last character of the word introduction, and also the first N, the forward command will encounter going forward. No, this is the first N, sorry. So if I would just now type N, it would just delete up to this point. So if I do N here, you see that it would delete there. But there are cases where the forward or with a lowercase or backwards with capital F would make sense. For example, if there is like a unique character, a special character, and you know that you want to delete to this point, you can do it. Or I can now, I can also use this angle bracket. I can use delete forward and angle bracket. And if I know what I want, it may come in handy. And without, we can also do, instead of I, in a DI here, DI double quotes, we can use the A and another motion, and the A means around, meaning that it will also delete white spaces around our selected word or a line or whatever. And we can use it, let's say we go here, and Vim also recognizes this block of text as separated block of text or paragraph, because it knows that there is a white space or a new line here, a new line there. So I can do DA, meaning around, delete around, and a P for paragraph, and it would delete everything around the paragraph. Now you now see this line here, because this is the line that was here, and it deleted here all the content with the white spaces here. So if we go here in a P, the paragraph, the HTML paragraph tags with the content, and we would do DAP, it would also delete the whole paragraph. That's also very handy if you are working with code and blocks of text. Now, there are commands that are in Vim encoded because people want to use them so often that it's just faster to have them in a single command. Now, if I would want to delete this whole line, if I'm lucky and I'm on the, I would have to do 0 to get to the beginning, D, and the dollar sign to delete to the end. And that's how I would get rid of the line. I can also use DD, which is a special command for deleting the whole line just like that. So I can say DD and the line is gone, and also the white space is gone, or the blank line. Now you can also use capital D, and capital D is also like a shortcut for deleting everything to the end of the line. So capital D is just shortcut of D and dollar sign. And because it comes in handy so much, they use just one letter abbreviation or one letter shortcut. So these were all the delete combination, and I just wanted to show you that there are just a few more, but these are the most important ones. The most important ones in a sense that it will save your time. And now let's go to C, because C is also very handy. I would say in many cases even more handy. C stands for change. Now, you know, in Vim there is a lot of logic, a lot of commands starts with the same character or letter that the actual English word for that action starts with. So C for change and D for delete. So you can also use the same motion keys I told you earlier with delete. You can do, if I'm on the word aware here, and I can press CW or CE, let's say, and it would perform the same action as the DE or delete to the end would do, but it also does the thing of putting me into insert mode here. So it basically lets me change what I deleted. So it's like one step further from delete motion, and it expects you to change the thing. So it deletes it for you and puts you in insert mode. So if I escape here and I go back, let's say I go to this main and I want to change the div or change the element to section. I can say CE section, and I could write a section because I was already in insert mode. Alright, so similarly, CB would delete everything to the B, which stands for the beginning, and puts me in the insert mode. And I can type whatever. Now you can use it also with combination to the C and 0, to the beginning and insert mode, and C and $. And when you use a C and $, it's also like the capital D. It is used so often that they actually made a shortcut for it, which is the capital S. I'm sorry, capital S actually does the substitute, and let's say it deletes the whole line and puts you in insert mode there on the place. Okay, so instead of if I'm on the beginning, instead of doing C $, I can just, from anywhere on the line, instead of going back and deleting to the end, I can just press capital S, and which would substitute the whole line with my input now. Okay, very handy. And you can also press CC, which would also shorted the going back and doing C to the end. So this is like a middle point of doing 0, C, but it's just one more key instead of writing capital S. Now, one more special command I want to mention here is the dot. Now, let's say I'm here on exporting, and I press D and E, which would delete to the end. If I now press dot, just a literal dot is the command that repeats whatever the last command was. Okay, like this. And this is also very handy. You can use it if you use it properly, which I recommend for you. This PDF book you can download for free, which also covers the topic, and the book is called Practical Vim. You can also use it very cleverly with the combination of insert mode, and it can save you minutes of your workload if you use it properly, and if you write commands and write shortcuts for the commands. So dot repeats last entered command, and you basically want to benefit from jumping from normal mode to insert mode in your dot command and doing it recursively if you don't want to use macros. Now, we'll go to another command, which is yank. And yank is, we'll use it with Y letter, and yank just stands for copy, and it copies the content into the Vim buffer. Now, there's a difference between Vim buffer and system clipboard. System clipboard is what you use if you open your, I don't know, browser, and you use Control P to paste. If I type now something and I would select it and press Control C, and I will go to my Vim, I will go insert mode and press Control V. Nothing would happen because it doesn't recognize the command, because we are now Vim by default. If you don't install like gvim, or if you don't compile Vim with the clipboard and then use a shortcut in your vimrc for Control V, which I already have, I can actually do Control Shift V. I already have it, but by default there is no way of Vim to using the system clipboard. So, but you can use the yank command and copy inside the Vim buffer and even across multiple files. So we can, let's say we are on a word remember. I can use the yank with a combination of motion keys, so Y, E, and now we got yanked the word remember to the buffer. So if I'm here now and press P, which stands for paste, it pastes the word that was in the buffer. Now also P stands for paste even for deleted things. So let's say I'm on a section and I press DD for delete. I can go anywhere I want and paste it with P, because you can think of the deletion as like Control X or cut if you're used to this other GUI text editors. So we yanked with the Y and a motion key. So similarly, Y and a $sign was copy the rest of the line from our cursor to the end into the buffer like this. And because the most used command is the copying the whole line from wherever we are on it, we can just press YY, and we have an LP, we have all the whole sentence yanked. And if I press P again, it's still in the buffer. Or if I press dot again, dot repeats the commands. So we are here. Now I will show you a different method of deleting all of this chunk. I can use DAP, which would delete everything around the paragraph. Or I could even do capital V and using the visual mode to manually highlight it, and I will press D. Well, this is just fun. So we can yank the whole lines. And the last command I want to share with you today is substitution. Now I have this little example here, these 3 lines saying, for every sus file there should be a sus map generated. Our project consists of the total of 7 sus files, each handling separate logical block. Please test your gulp sus module version for consistency with our node setup. And this is just because of this is just text of some Node.js bloat. But this is a good example because let's say we're changing the CSS pre-compiler. No, it's not pre-compiler. Preprocessor. From, let's say we're changing the CSS preprocessor from Sass to less. Okay, there is this preprocessor called less, and there is Sass, and many others. But these are the most important ones. So let's say we're swapping for less. But the general rules we mention here applies the same way. So let's say I'm on this line. What I can do is now go to the command mode of Vim, and we will access the command mode from the normal mode, pressing the colon here, and we have the cursor here. This is a separate, like a bar from the content of the document. So if I go escape, I'm in the normal mode, and wherever I am I can press colon, and I'm in here like a little shell here, let's say, and I can press S, which stands for substitute, and I can now use this syntax. I can use S / old / new. Okay. Now old stands for old string. So let's say it will be says, and new will be less. Okay, and I use next slash. If I press enter now, nothing would happen. Okay, because we were here at this line. So if I move here onto this line, and I will press colon and type s and says and less, it actually highlights me the word I wrote here on the first, let's say, first argument, and it searches for this argument on the current line. That's why it didn't work here, because there was no sass string. So if it finds it, it highlights it for me, and now it takes this string and replaces the first occurrence of the word. So substitute old string with new string. If I press enter, it's substitute, but it's just here, it's not here, and certainly not here on this line, nor here. So it takes just command for this line and the first occurrence, alright? If I undo the change, if I go back to the command mode, you can actually press arrow up or arrow down to scroll through previous commands. Now, if I would type here after the latest slash G, stands for global, it would replace every sass occurrence with less globally on the current line we are at. So if I press enter now, this sass should go to less, and this sass should go to less. So like this. And you see all the sasses were replaced with lesses on the line, but others stayed untouched. And I undo the changes, and as the last example, we will use a $, which extends the position of our cursor for the substitute command to the whole file. So anywhere on the file, so all occurrences, substitute the word says with the word less, and also do it on every line, like multiple occurrences of the word. If I press enter now, it's here, it's here, it's here, and also here in the gulp plus module. And this is the last command I will show you today. And we can do even more advanced stuff in the next video. And I hope this one was helpful. And see you next time.